This is TWiT.
Georgia Dow is a VR fanatic. We know this about you. Are you a Vive or a Quest user?
If I have the choice, it will be the Vive.
Yeah, I like the Vive too. And I have to say, when Facebook announced, and I was very disappointed, that you would have to have a Facebook account to use the Quest, I said, well, I guess I won't be using the Quest 2. What do you think of the new Oculus Quest?
I would love it if I didn't have to sign in with Facebook. You already know my feelings on Facebook.
So annoying.
It's so horrific, especially, and everyone knew that they were lying when they first acquired Oculus. They said, you know what, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to infiltrate. Don't even worry. This will be fine. And then, of course, after everyone has it, now you're going to have to log in. We're not even at 2022, and we have to log in to the Quest with, and with Oculus for that. We're just going to use the features that we can and the games that we can that we already have. And we're in, a very lucky position that we're able to do that. But that's also kind of infuriating to me. So I find that really depressing.
Ironically, John Carmack, who left id, the creator of Doom, to go to Oculus, says he's kind of embarrassed over the Oculus Social apps. You'd think Facebook, if you have to use a Facebook sign-on, at least it should have some good social stuff. He says kind of embarrassed by Spaces, which is gone. Would you ever use it for socializing? It seems to me not a very pleasant way to get together with friends.
It's not horrible, though.
Really?
It's not a horrible way to get together.
We did a whole VR show. After hours.
Actually, it was quite a lot of fun. Like, I felt closer to the people that were there because we could actually interact in a different way. Like, you're not getting the same body reactions. You're not, like, most of language is through like facial features. We get the intonation, but not really the body language that goes with it. But I thought it was kind of fun in this post-COVID world. I think that there's definitely a place for that where you can still watch a movie and you really feel like when you're sitting in a false theater and watching a movie together, you can still kind of like poke and bother the person next to you and whisper, and you're there in the room. It's kind of interesting. Like, I think that there's a little bit of a barrier to entry, but it's a midpoint.
The Oculus Quest was, I thought, the best VR, not because it had the best quality, but because it had no wires, right? Mm-hmm. So it really had a great experience, and it was lower cost than buying an Oculus Rift or the Vive. The new Quest 2 has two flavors, $299 for 64 gigabytes of storage, because remember, you're not attached to a computer, $399 for 256 gigs of storage. It's a faster processor, the Snapdragon XR2. It's got 50% more RAM, 6 gigs of RAM. It's 10% lighter. It's still got all the cameras. In fact, one of the things that was cool about the Quest is, even though it came with paddles, the cameras were sufficiently sophisticated that it could see your hands. And I think more and more we were starting to see games that didn't require the controllers, that you could just use your hands to do stuff. I don't know. I don't have much experience. Was that working pretty well for you, or did you try it?
Yeah, it works really well. It was
neat.
really like, it's very effective. It works really smoothly. One of my children is pretty much just, an Oculus user, and we like, it was great. It's so sad that all of the little tiny pieces that I don't think that most people are really bothered by, but for those that are more privacy conscious or like not that into Facebook, I think that for some people this will be a deal breaker.
Did you watch the Oculus Office video? Infinite
that I did
Office?
Not.
Oh, this is fun. Let me see if I can see if this is something that you want to do with the Oculus Quest. Here she is. She's sitting in the kitchen. She's I'll turn off the music because we don't need this silly music, but she's sitting in the kitchen. She's put on the visor. She's making strange gestures because she's seeing a giant display in front of her. The rest of the world is black and white. Look, her roommate just came in and she could see her kind of great. Black and white. Oh, she says, oh, I better move into my office. But you know what? Your office can be anywhere. She's now in the... to me, this seems like it would induce nausea. It would be so uncomfortable. But you live in VR, so is this something you would like to... There's a keyboard you would like to do in an office? Wait a minute. Look at that weird disembodied hand. By the way, that is so creepy, that disembodied hand. I don't like that.
You see, I'm used to the disembodied hands because for most games, they're just hands. You don't have an arm. So that wouldn't bother me. And it does feel a little bit Minority Report. And I'm okay with that. I kind of think that that's kind of cool, that if you can't actually be there, this would be a great way. Like if you're dealing with, maybe, a surgery and you need to move stuff around, to be able to actually be out there and manipulate things.
Yeah, she's in her bedroom now.
And to be able to send things.
Yeah.
And we can't go anywhere, but you could then kind of be in the office, but you're not in the office, is useful in certain cases where we wouldn't be able to simulate that we're with other people. And so I'm like, this future is probably going to be happening if we like it or if we don't. But I think that this is a use case that could work.
This is the new Facebook Infinite Office. Will roll out later this winter. I think probably they're rushing it because in COVID times, at least, you get a lot of adoption early on. There's a Logitech keyboard that will work with it, and it'll be not only work with it, but it'll be tracked and rendered within the headset, so you can actually see the keyboard. Facebook said new features will be rolling out over the coming months. Early releases will focus on personal productivity rather than group collaboration. So you like it? You think that would be cool?
I think that there's use cases for that. I do. Right. So okay. I'm like, again, let's take off the Facebook part.
It's a non-starter if I have to have a Facebook account to use that, though.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Especially not for... Now, this is office work, and this is definitely not for me. But even if you're a medical professional or you work in a law firm or like antitrust issues, this becomes a huge issue. And I'm sure that Facebook wants more data because most offices, you're not allowed to log into Facebook, or they don't want you to, or there's an issue with that. And so again, it kind of creeps me out. Like they're now trying to get their fingers not just into your home and what are you doing and how active are you at home, which they can then get the data if you log into Facebook, but also now what do you do at work?
Right.
No.
Jim Dalrymple,
and
you couldn't even wear
we're
this.
Worried about TikTok.
Your beard,
right,
would
exactly.
Would
Let's
burst right through. Would you ever work like that, Jim? It doesn't seem like something you'd go for.
No, that's not really me.
What if you could go to a heavy metal concert?
I would rather go to the concert.
I've
done a movie in a false theater. And it was a lot of you felt like you were in a movie theater. It was kind of a fun experience. Okay. I've done one kind of a concerty kind of experience, and it wasn't the same, just the sound and the mood, but the movie was pretty interesting. It was a horrible movie, but it was a lot of fun to be able to be there and to have everyone else that was there, and they're all real people in the theater.
One of the things that causes... There are a couple of things that cause nausea with these visors. One of them is a low refresh rate. The new Oculus Quest 2 is 72 hertz, but Facebook says they can push 90 hertz refresh rates out in software, so there'll be faster refresh rates. The screen clarity, according to reviewers, is better. It's got a different pixel layout, more pixels than the previous generation, 50% more.